These 5 fragrances represent one of the best tobacco fragrance DNA that was ever created. The first and pioneer of the DNA was Parfums de Marly Carlisle. Soon after came Carolina Herrera's Mystery Tobacco, and the rest, as you know it, is history. So let's start off with Carlisle from Parfums de Marly. The fragrance was launched in 2015 and the notes are displayed on screen. It's primarily centered around the use of green apple with nutmeg, osmanthus and davana with base of patchouli, and that's what gives it that smoky, sweet tobacco essence to this fragrance. Mystery Tobacco by Carolina Herrera was launched in 2016. The nose behind the fragrance was Quinton Biche, and it again features notes of osmanthus mixed with patchouli and tobacco and a bunch of freshness from citruses to give it that beautiful fresh pipe tobacco smell. Now this fragrance DNA became so popular and in such demand that the next year in 2017 the House of Mancera decided to launch Red Tobacco with also added notes of oud, incense and saffron to the formula to create a very sweet and very loud rendition of the DNA. A few years later, in 2019, the House of Argos decided to release Triumph of Bacchus, which was centered around the use of rum and peach added to the red tobacco DNA to create this beautifully stunning fragrance that we know as Triumph of Bacchus. And while there are many clone renditions or clone fragrances that replicate this DNA, in my opinion, the very best of them came from the house of Maison Alhambra in Exclusif Tabac, and this was launched in 2022 and soon after discontinued and has become very hard to find, and this is a top-notch clone of this DNA. But what is the purpose of this video? I will seek to highlight the differences and similarities between these fragrances to help you make a decision as to which one I think is the best of all these. But first, there is an issue that must be addressed. These 2 fragrances smell so similar. The harsh, loud opening of Mancera Red Tobacco aside, right after that 10-minute mark, you will have a very hard time distinguishing these 2 fragrances. Mancera Red Tobacco and Argos Triumph of Bacchus has this deep, resinous sweetness about the tobacco. Mancera's Red Tobacco has a very loud, very synthetic opening, which can be very off-putting to others. Triumph of Bacchus, however, goes straight into every aspect of what makes Mancera Red Tobacco a beautiful and desired fragrance. It is sweet and smooth, very easy to wear. Both these fragrances are well suited to colder weather, with the preference of the 2 for me being Argos Triumph of Bacchus. Exclusif Tabac from Maison Alhambra is the only clone fragrance in this review. Or is it? You decide. But this fragrance is so well put together, masterfully blended. It smells like a fragrance that should be 4 times its $20 price. This fragrance, in my opinion, is a blend between Carolina Herrera's Mystery Tobacco and Argos Triumph of Bacchus. It incorporates all the good aspects that is the performance from Triumph of Bacchus and the beautifully smooth formula that is the Carolina Herrera Mystery Tobacco, and combines them into one fragrance, and that's what you get with Exclusif Tabac from Maison Alhambra. But how do I think these fragrances stack up against each other, and which one should you get? If you can only afford one, which the average man or the average person will likely only be able to buy one of these, which one do I think you should get? Although it is an absolute beast mode of a fragrance, very loud, and it does last forever, Mancera Red Tobacco finishes last in this comparison. It is just too synthetic at the opening and too hard to tolerate. But if you solely select your fragrances based on performance, this is the clear-cut winner of the group, Mancera Red Tobacco. However, in this comparison, it finishes last simply because I think it is not of the same quality as the other fragrances in this test, so it will take the 5th spot. Finishing in 4th place will be Exclusif Tabac, simply because it is a straight up copy or a mixture of two of these fragrances, which were combined to make this absolutely stunning cheapie. It has become very hard to find, as it is one of the top rated cologne fragrances ever to be made, so it finishes fourth in this comparison test. Coming in third place will be Argos Triumph of Bacchus. This fragrance has an absolutely stunning presentation. The bottle is second to none. The artwork and craftsmanship are to die for. It has a pressurized atomizer, and the performance is stellar with great projection, great longevity, but at the end of the day, it does smell very similar to Mancera Red Tobacco. Although a much better fragrance than Mancera Red Tobacco, it does incorporate so many aspects of that fragrance, being that it takes away every negative that Mancera Red Tobacco ever had and enhanced all the positives. So it finishes third in this comparison test, Argos Triumph of Bacchus. Our second place finisher is Parfums de Carlisle. Yes, although it was the very first fragrance that was created with this DNA, it is a very polarizing fragrance in my opinion. Again, every time I've worn it, I've gotten a lot of compliments. Those compliments primarily came from other guys. When I wear this around girls, it has been very off-putting. The performance is there, it has great projection and longevity. Although it is an amazing fragrance and I absolutely love it, I don't think it's a very versatile fragrance, and there are aspects of this fragrance that make it very one-dimensional and very polarizing, as I said before. The winner and best rendition of this tobacco scent profile, in my opinion, is Mystery Tobacco from Carolina Herrera. Again, it incorporates aspects of all these other fragrances, but just that lighter projection. Again, all these fragrances smell very similar, but they go about it in different ways. And I just think that Mystery Tobacco has that very soft projection, which makes it so much more likable and so much more easy to wear. Another one again with outstanding presentation, great pressurized atomizer, fully magnetic cap. And the price and availability of this fragrance just pushes it into that category of exclusivity that makes you actually feel like you're wearing something that is special. And that is why this is my top ranked fragrance for this tobacco DNA, Mystery Tobacco from Carolina Herrera. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching. Stay fresh, stay classic, and I'll see you in the next one.